everybody, Rob here. Long time no talk. Hope everybody had a pleasant holiday season. Hope everybody's looking forward to New Year's. I know I am. I think everybody's ready to get over 2020, hopefully for a more positive 2021. But the purpose of this video is going to be a relatively short one because I just wanted to touch base regarding the recent balance patch update that Nordicis did. I knew they were going to touch base on some of the new mythicals that they created. Some of the other items they touched were spells. Wasn't very fond of those, so I'll talk about that here in a second. So let's go ahead and take a look at the news that came through and the balance update. So some of these are a little silly. Like I said, not too happy about it completely. One thing they are trying to promote right now, of course, is the Devour. They want you to use that Devour. His Ascension Tower, if you're not familiar with it, is pretty much when he consumes a minion, he grows. He gets Elena's Giant Growth on him for a period of time, makes him stronger, makes him harder to kill, until he either devours completely the minion he's absorbed, or you somehow can kill him to retrieve your minion that he's absorbed. I'm curious if anybody that watches this channel actually has used that Ascension in their deck. I personally don't like to Devour. It seems the bots have pretty good success with them when you're fighting them, but I don't personally use them. But tell me, I'm curious to see how your utilization with them has worked. So please leave that in the comments. But let's go ahead and talk about the changes they did. So the first one is going to be the Vengeful Construct. Knew this was probably coming. His boost to level 11 made him extremely dominant. Nothing could really kill him for the most part, and if you had damage to your portal, holy shit, he's hard to take down. So I mean, Silver Rangers couldn't take him down, and no range troop really could hurt him at all. The Phase Assassin would have to hit him twice to kill him, so he was problematic at level 11. If you were lucky enough to get some additional cards of his, either by purchasing through the shops or through the events, you're able to probably get him up to level 8, I guess, maybe even level 9 at the most, not sure. If you can do that, then he's probably still going to be a problematic card to battle. But for the most part, I think him being dropped down back down to level 7, I think is his initial level, would not make him as problematic going forward, especially since the Ascension season has restarted. So everybody's back to a level playing field for the most part. Everybody's in tier 1 of the Ascension Tower, so you're not going to see too much outrageous Ascensions, and you don't have to now worry about him being boosted to level 11. But what they did is they reduced his regeneration abilities by 1%. So now he only regenerates 8% per second. Not sure how much of the impact that's going to have, but they doing that, and they're being conservative because they're not sure exactly how those boosts in the levels have actually impacted his utilization and his aggressiveness, so we'll see how that progresses. The Ice Witch, they nerfed her slowdown percentage of the chill effect by 5%. So again, not sure how much of an impact it's going to have. I guess they're just trying to do something to kind of reduce their overpowered nature. I mean, really, I think they're the least of the concerns in this game, those two. So the Construct, of course, got rebalanced now since he's down to his normal tier. Same thing with her. I wasn't seeing her as much the last portion of the season because she's no longer like the hot thing to get. So you were seeing more of the Vengeful Construct than you were seeing her. So maybe this season you'll start seeing her a little more utilized, but I don't think that 5% is really that much of a deal. The next one is this damn Spirit Call. I hate this spell. So they changed the cooldown by boosting it up 5 seconds. So let me just give you a comparison here. So there's a few spells in this game that I consider OP. This is one of them. This spell, for a senior veteran player that has gone up his levels, especially in the beginning of this game, where it was easier to level up your heroes based on the reward structure you got, could have very well crazy leveled heroes, one of them being Elena. The Spirit Call, when it's at like a certain level, she can duplicate a minion on all 3 lanes. That makes that very problematic. Buffing this by 5 seconds really is nothing when you look at Rule having the Fire Blast that is a 1 minute cooldown. So if any spell should be a longer cooldown or the longest cooldown, it should be the goddamn Spirit Call. This is an annoying spell that in the later part of a battle, especially if you're fighting with a person who has abominations or anything of that nature. This is a problematic spell, and I think it's OP. I think it needs to have the longest time in the game, and adding 5 seconds is bullshit. You should have added maybe 10 seconds. So Nordis, if you watch this, you need to change this this nerf to be a little more aggressive. You know, if people want to reduce the cooldown time, they can farm for equipment, farm for whatever the case may be, items to help reduce that cooldown. But this should be the highest cooldown spell in the game, especially when you do the next thing is buff her damn statue. So now the statue is 5 seconds less. Now, if anybody's been watching my videos or have been playing this game for a period of time, knows that this damn thing is a crazy, stupid spam strategy item. People use this to spam. They throw it in front of the portal, they start loading that lane, they start doing the stupid commander shit and floating back and forth and try to utilize this as a buffer to block you from attacking their group. Now, you can defend against that, sure, but this is annoying as shit. If anything did not need to be touched, it is this damn statue. Why are you touching the statue? What is the need for this? I think, Elena, your justification down there, to me, is a bunch of bullshit. We also want to make sure Elena has options to choose from. She has plenty of options to choose from. All the heroes have the same options to choose from, the number of options. Her options vary based on your strategy. This does not need to be changed to make it more easier and quicker to throw down in the field when you're trying to run the spam. It seems to me, Nordis, that you're following the same flaw that Castle Crush did, which is pretty much encouraging the spam. Just my 2 cents. I would prefer that not be the case, but I'm having a suspicion that's the path they're going, and it's unfortunate because this spell does not need to be touched at all. 25 seconds, which was one of the lower times anyway, now makes it even less time, 20 seconds. It's going to become annoying. It's going to make the game not fun, and it's going to become problematic for anybody who's trying to just play a casual game, because now you're going to have these annoying a-holes that are going to be throwing this thing every 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds you're going to see this thing thrown down now. So I will suspect you're going to start seeing a lot of spam. You're going to start seeing a lot of commander floating around. You're going to see a lot of the skeletons. All the other fun things that we try to avoid from the other games is going to start popping up in this now, especially since it's dropped down by 5 seconds. And then, for whatever reason, Nordis decided to touch Abomination. Dropped it down by almost 200%, 200 hit points, and for one reason or another, dropped the base damage by 5. A little odd. Don't know why. But why did Abomination have to be touched? And they don't even give an explanation on this one. We dropped it down. So, don't know what the purpose of that was. Abomination has not really been a problem. I think he's pretty balanced as he was. Now you drop down his health that he was already having a hard enough problem battling him at level 11 when he had boosted from the damage to the portal. So now he could technically go toe-to-toe with a lot of big players with, when you have portal damage done. So now you reduced him even more to where now the Abomination could potentially be killed by the Vengeful Construct if the portal has enough damage. So I don't really understand the reason for that nerf. It just seems a little just random. I'm not sure. But again, Nordis has a method to their madness. They make a reason. There's a reason for everything they're doing. So I got to trust and have faith that they're not going down the path of Castle Crush, because Castle Crush's issue is that once they got to a point to where the game's just making them money, they said fuck it and stopped doing anything with the game, because they're making residual money because people are going to spend $2 here, $5 there, yada yada yada. And it's a functional game. The luxury I have right now is knowing that Nordis still puts investment in this game. They still are focusing on developing and everything else, which is great. However, I'm just very fearful that you guys are going that route, and this is starting to get a little problematic for me. I don't understand this buff to the Spirit Call. Nerf to the Spirit Call was pretty much nothing. And then this buff to this damn statue is just bullshit. I don't get it. I am not looking forward to dealing with people in this shit. I have no problem defending myself, but I'm more worried about the casual player or the player that doesn't pay to play, that's going to try to play this game and is going to get frustrated with this nonsense because this damn statue is going to be in their way, preventing them from able to take any type of ground. You can say be creative, crumble all this stuff all you want, and I'm the first person who always advocates that. Adapt, overcome, adjust yourself. But when you're making adjustments to the game to encourage the other behavior, I mean, Castle Crush had what, Boneyard, the skeletons, and all the other shit. You guys have remnants of that too. I mean, you have the undead army and undead horde and all that other stuff. But now you're putting these things that are just going to become an obstacle. That is not a fair obstacle per se. It's just going to become a nuisance. So that's just my rant. Sorry if I'm ranting a bit, guys, but that's just my 2 cents about this. I don't think the adjustments they made make sense whatsoever. I think they're trying to get you to use Elena because maybe Elena is the most underutilized minion or hero. That's possible, most likely the case. But at the same time, it's unnecessary. The Spirit Call nerf is bullshit. Should have been a minute or more. Should be the highest cost one, and this one should not have been touched. And you need to really give a better explanation of why the abomination was changed. You didn't leave anything. You need to tell us something here, guys. And I think that was unnecessary. I don't think there was any problem with the abomination, and it just seems to me like you're just making random changes just to justify your push for Elena. But other than that, I digress. So, on that note, guys, that is pretty much going to be my video for today on this. If you found it informative, if you like hearing me rant and rave, or if you don't, give me a like. Please leave something in the comments about your opinion on the changes. Do you think they're going to help? Do you think they're going to hurt? Do you think they're justified? Do you think they're bullshit? Please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear your 2 cents on it. But don't forget to hit that ring bell and subscribe if you have not. But like I always say, stay safe, stay sharp. And until next time, guys, talk to you soon.